Yeah,
Show,
sure.
show. How's it, bruh?
Hola.
All right, hello guys. We missed you guys. This is Let's Argue, the Global Football Intelligence Show. Yeah, with me I have Tibo. It's like we are running a two-man show, a lot like Shimzane, Tibo.
I'm telling you, brah. Tonight is just me and Fanroy. We came across to come here and dissect everything football related, from the PSL all the way to La Liga. It's about to get real, and today we've got drama all over, from all over the show, Big Boss. Listen, tonight some of the managers are gonna get cooked, so I hope everyone is prepared by the fire, because I'm about to get busy there by the price stand.
Yeah, near. And it's the rise of the resilience, and then also the fall of the fragile. So yeah,
Havana, it's over.
let's get into it.
Havana, it's
So
over.
yeah, once more, um, we're on recapping on Premier League action. We're gonna give you a full review. First up, we had Spurs versus Fulham. Spurs actually succumbed to a 2-1 loss. Um, from coming in, Spurs they were winless in their last four, conceding 9 goals in that run. While Fulham, on the other hand, they had one win in their last seven before this match. And just to take you guys through the match stats, um, Spurs had 14 shots and one goal, and then Fulham had 6 shots. They created two big chances and they converted two. The possession in that game, Spurs had the most. They had 61% possession.
Hi, Van Rooy. I don't know about you, but Spurs, bruh. This is no longer a slump. This is more like a collapse. Two goals conceded in 2 minutes, like right at the beginning of the game. That's concentration gone for the remainder of the game. There's no leadership there, and I don't think they even have an identity anymore.
Yeah, it's a bit shaky. I don't know what that guy is doing there. Huh? Tottenham have
Thomas
now
Frank.
dropped. Yeah, they have now dropped 15 points in the last six matches. That's crazy, bro. The worst
That's
run
that's
of, yeah.
yeah.
I'm saying they have the worst run of any top half team. They also conceded a 1.8 goals per game, their worst defense output since 2015. What do you think about Thomas Frank?
Hey, my man, I don't know if this is an opportune moment to say this, but this is kind of like Liverpool territory, the manner in which they're dropping points now. Thomas
Yeah.
Frank is repeating the same mistakes, bro. He's playing a high defensive line. The center backs are slow. There's no protection when transitions are coming through. And Fulham exploited the half spaces in between the fullbacks and the center backs. This was just a textbook counter-attacking football game, and I think we need to give kudos to Fulham for utilizing every opportunity they got to win this game.
Yeah, sure. They prove to be a very tough opponent. It doesn't matter who you are, they're not gonna make it easy. And that's what I actually love about their team, right? So yeah, moving on, we had Everton as well that faced Newcastle. The form coming into that game, Everton had 2 wins in 10, while Newcastle came off a UCL defeat, but unbeaten in the last four EPL away games. The stats for that match goes as follows: we have this guy Tiao scored a brace, which was two beautiful goals. We had Voltamade as well. He has 5 goals in 10 games, which is fairly good, seeing that he just got there. While Everton had 11 shots and only one of them was on target. It's a bit poor, but yeah, what can we say? This is football, eh?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Newcastle were violent, man. They didn't just win; they nutmegged Everton in broad daylight, broski. This was a classic can of whoop ass being opened up on Everton.
Yeah, and it really looks like, you know what, anyone that is going to come in their way, they're going to bulldoze you out of the way. It really, really sucks. But yeah, Everton's goal XG in that game was at 0.57, while Newcastle, their XG was at 2.89. That tells you nothing but the whole story, my friend.
My man, Newcastle pressed in a 4-3-3 trap that suffocated Everton's build-up. Sean Dyche's team cannot play from the back, and it showed. It makes you actually wonder how they actually managed to beat Manchester United, but
Yeah.
that's neither here or there.
Yeah, near that's very true. Moving on, we had Man City that faced Leeds at home. They actually won that game. The scoreline was 3-2. Just a bit of match facts. Foden has 2 goals. Leeds had 9 shots, and only 2 of them were on target. City had 75% possession, while Leeds pressed with intensity. They have 41 recoveries in their midfield, which is fairly good. It's quite high this season.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Leeds United, they fought like a pack of wounded lions, man. But then when City need a savior, I don't know. I think Phil Foden decided to come up with the answers. Um, Kudos to him. I think he hasn't done this in a long time, and it's great. I think that one of the senior players can actually take the baton on and put on a performance like he did.
Yeah, and it is true. He was really Agent Hitman 47, eh? He really
Yeah, no,
proved that.
definitely. Yeah,
He
yeah,
really
no,
proved that,
definitely.
you know what? You cannot count me out. Which is it's actually good for him, you know. So yeah, City have now won. Sorry, they scored 32 league goals, which is a lot. Only they only come second to Arsenal in that field. Arsenal have scored more goals, and City are still 5 points behind Arsenal. So, what do you think about the defensive structure?
I don't know, man. I think there's too many gaps in there. You know, Phil Foden's brilliance. I think it saved the game this past weekend. But I think against a stronger, more organized opposition, this City team can still get found out. But obviously, we're getting into that period where we start seeing the very best football from Manchester City. So let's rather not count them out just yet.
Yeah, no, that's very true. You cannot count them out. They are showing signs of brilliance again. They are showing that you know what we're still in this, even though we are a
Too
few
soon,
points
bro.
behind. Yeah,
Too soon. Brilliance. Too soon,
yeah.
bro.
I'm telling you, you're gonna see with the next 3 matches, ne? They are really gonna show up and they're really gonna try and contend because you know what they have seen. They have seen that
Yeah.
Chelsea and Arsenal are capable. Both of those teams are capable of dropping points, and who is right behind them? It's them. So
I
yeah,
don't know,
we'll
man,
see.
but from my observation, to me, it almost feels like they've been grinding results out. Of course, when Erling Haaland, scores goals at the rate that he does, then it sort of papers over the cracks. But this is just my observation. I think they've been struggling to get over the line in a lot of the games. And because Erling Haaland, maybe has been in such great form, he's been so clinical in and around the box that it really papers over the cracks.
Yeah, no, that's true. But we'll see. Like you say, it is still early. But
Yeah.
yeah, like I said, like I always say, this is football, man. Anything can happen. Look at what happened. Liverpool won. But
Hey,
yeah,
we'll get there. We'll get
we are
there,
not
Van
there
Roy.
yet. We are
We'll
not
get
there
there,
yet.
Van Roy. Slow down, dog.
So,
Hey.
so yeah, and in other matches, we had Crystal Palace. They hosted Man United. They scored first. I don't understand. You know, Crystal Palace is so strong, ne? When they score first, they even put more pressure on you. They
Mhm.
actually lost to United in that game. So United had 2 goals. They only had one. A bit of match fix for that match. So Xerxes scored 1 goal. Mount scored the other goal. United had a 56% ball possession, which is fairly good. For both teams, they had 13 shots each.
Yeah, no, definitely. United have been inconsistent. They've been unpredictable. They've been even unreliable. But this past match, they found a way to be clinical. And I think this is the most important thing. Taking into account that both teams had a fair amount of opportunities, same amount of opportunities. But from the manner in which the game ended, it's clear for everyone to see that. Manchester United were the more clinical of the two sides.
Yeah, and it is true because they came from behind. They actually won that game. With this win that they actually had, they do climb to seventh place, which is the highest under Amorim so far. We're not counting those matches where they played now and then they're in a good position and someone is playing afterwards. This goes for that game week, so it's a good thing for them. I just
No,
hope that
definitely,
they continue. Yeah,
no, definitely, I agree with you, Van Roy, because even Joshua Zexi, for me, he is definitely a glue when it comes to piecing together or coming down to play with his teammates from the front line. Um, it's great that he actually managed to get on the score line after being out for such a long period, being injured. It's also great that for Mason Mount also got on the score line, another
yeah.
player who has a lot of fitness problems. United still struggle to dominate games, but the structure is definitely improving, and I think Ruben Amorim will be very happy with the strides with which this team has taken up to this point.
Yeah, no, I fully agree with you. And for a player to come off the bench, to actually put his name on the score line, his name is written in the lights. That is something great because it not only shows the hunger, but it shows the coach as well. You know what? You may have good players in the first starting 11, but you cannot count me out. And that's what I like
Yes.
about the team as well.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he put his hand up, definitely.
Yeah, 100%. Moving on. Then we had West Ham that you see you smiling already. We had West Ham that hosted my team Liverpool. So, bit of match facts for that game. Yeah, I know you're gonna say that we didn't win. We were not playing perfectly good. Uh, West Ham was just I know for a fact you're gonna say that, but anyway, match facts. So coming into that game, Liverpool, they had 5 shots on target in that game. Paqueta ended his minutes in a red card. I don't know why. That was really unnecessary what he did. West Ham had zero big chances created.
Yeah, no, let me tell you one thing, Fadro, and Liverpool can finally breathe. It may be premature, but getting a healthy 3 points and managing to score 2 goals and keep a clean sheet is definitely something that they can smile about. After sinking like a submarine for such a long period, they've
Yeah,
come up for some air.
yeah, and yeah. Liverpool kept their third clean sheet in 10 games. It's bad, but this is progress.
No, definitely, I agree with you. And let's not overreact. West Ham were
Mhm.
poor, and the red card. I don't know. That red card was very dubious. If you're Lucas Paqueta and you just survived a match fixing scandal, and then you see the two red cards that he got to get himself sent off. Hey, I don't think you want that type of energy around you. So I leave that to you. I don't know what you think about that, but that looked very suspect to say the least.
Very. It did also for me because when while watching that game, he got the first yellow. Then he still went back to the ref and said, "You even pushed people out of the way." And even Van Dijk said, I'm not interfering here." And he went there, got the second yellow, got the red card. I was like, that was unnecessary, bro.
Got himself sent off, big boss.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on, we had the blockbuster. It was the match. I'm sure everyone watched it. We had not you, Chelsea versus Arsenal at home. It ended in a draw. Match facts. Caicedo also got a red card. Arsenal had 11 shots. Chelsea had 9 shots. It was an end-to-end game. It was very, very intense. And it was basically a tactical duel. Me watching that game as a neutral was like box to box. It was not boring. There was a whole lot of drama. People were kicking each other. Yeah, it was a good game. What do you think?
No. Definitely, I agree with you, Fandroid. That was just end-to-end action right there. That was definitely a great game to watch for the neutral. I think had it not been for VAR, Moises Caicedo would have maybe gotten away with that challenge
Mhm.
on Mikel Merino. But I think there were two contrasting things that we saw from this game. Chelsea on one tip of the scale, they were happy to get a draw against this Arsenal side, whereas this
Yeah,
Arsenal side were disheartened that it only ended in a draw rather than a win. So I don't know if maybe that speaks to the mentality of the two teams or what, but I think if you're Arsenal, definitely you will feel gutted because this would have been an opportunity to extend their lead from 5 points to maybe 7 points between themselves and Manchester City. But Chelsea also on their end, I think they did very well to draw level.
yeah.
No. Actually, excuse me. Chelsea scored first. Chelsea
They
scored
scored
first.
first.
So,
Yeah,
so I think they tried their best to actually stay in the game, and we need to commend them for that. But that red card definitely changed the dynamic of the game for them.
yeah, and yeah. That's 100% true. I think Arsenal should have won that game for one reason in particular. They had a
Mhm.
higher goal XG. Their goal XG set at 2.18, and they really should have won. I mean, like the red card that Casado actually got was, I think, in a 30 something minute, and they had like most of what's the full game to play a team that is 10 men. They could have beaten them. They should have won that game actually.
Yeah, you know what, Van Roy, and if I can quote a gentleman by the name of Achira Musi. This gentleman once said that in football there's no therefore. Just because,
Yeah,
for example, you're a Barcelona side that has Xavi, Iniesta, Sergio Busquets, and Cesc Fabregas, and you have 1,000 passes, doesn't necessarily
yeah,
translate into you winning the game. So I think if you're
100%.
Mikel Arteta, you will be furious that you had so many chances, but you only managed to score one goal. Too much resilience, I think, or excuse me, too much reliance, right,
Yeah,
on special moments from super sub players. Whereas if maybe he would have tried to throw the gauntlet at Chelsea from immediately after when they lost the player, then who knows what the result could have been.
yeah. Yeah, no, that's true. Based on what you said, they over relied on moments of brilliance. They were not working together as a system to say that, you know what, they are 10 men, they are staying compact. Let us find a way of breaking them down, getting them to overcommit as well, and let
I
us take
mean,
the place to them.
I
If
mean,
they
I mean,
could,
they
yeah,
they brought on the Norwegian Martin Odegaard
or the
very
good,
late on in the game, Lani,
yeah,
and there's this Brazilian winger that they have, Gabriel Martinelli. I don't know about you, bro, but between you and me, I think that guy is Scottish. That guy is not Brazilian.
he doesn't
You know.
play Brazilian football.
Ay, Lani.
There's no
Ay, Lani.
flavor.
I'm telling you, Lani, I'm not trying to be a weirdo, but nah. That guy is not Brazilian. Maybe he has some Brazilian genes, coursing through
Yeah,
his veins, but
heritage.
he is not Brazilian. Maybe he's from Scotland or something. I'm not sure. But anyways, let's move on. Let's move on to La Liga now.
Okay. We had our first match, which was also a good one. We saw Barcelona take on Alaves, and they actually won, and the scoreline was 3-1. Okay, so Barca conceded early, but from there onward, Yamal and Olmo, they ran the show. I mean, like they played a very good game. Barcelona have now scored 11 goals in their last four league games, which shows that it averages to about 3 goals per match.
Yeah, they're pressing higher, they're recovering their balls faster, and they're creating more in 1v1 situations. This, I think, was a classic Barcelona, and I think they will be buoyed by the fact that Lamine Yamal actually had a good game this time around. He did
Yeah,
he was attacking, he was forcing the issue on the wings, and he even got two goals or a goal to boot and an assist. So I think
yes.
overall Hansi Flick will be happy with the performance from the players. This also includes the return of Rafinha.
Yeah. Yeah, Rafinha, they actually really need that guy because, and I know he's young, he's a young captain, but he plays like a general. Like, it's like that guy has been doing this for a long period of time.
Their
But
best
yeah,
player.
definitely. Yeah, he is. Definitely.
He's their best
Like,
player. But now, Barcelona are broke. They couldn't
yeah,
endorse him to win the Ballon d'Or because that would have forced Barcelona to pay Leeds United 25 million pounds that they don't have in bonuses. But that's
yeah, they
neither
don't
here or
have.
there.
They spent it all on the stadium. They
Ah,
spent it.
bruh. Did you see the stadium? Man,
I,
Van Rooij. We're
I,
not
I
gonna
don't
sit
think
here and bash Barcelona without labs. I don't do that.
I don't. Okay, we'll wait for him. But just to speak about the stadium, I don't think it's worth the money they paid.
Hey, 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 hey. Bruh,
Let's move
you're
on. Let's
opening
move
another can
on.
of worms, eh?
Yeah, we cannot argue without Lebza about that fact, but I'll
Hey,
tell
you're
you.
opening
I'll
another
tell you.
can of worms, eh? Hey, I hope wherever he is, where if he's watching, I hope you know what he documents and he writes this down. Cause this we need to address in the next show, bro.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear your point of view as well. But yeah, like you said, we'll leave that for another day. We'll move on. Also, we had Atletico that faced Oviedo. Atletico was at home. They scored two goals. Oviedo didn't reply at all. The form coming into that game, Atletico had 7 wins in a row across all competitions. Defenders, they basically their best defensive side they have the best defensive side in La Liga. They only conceded 12 goals. It's a lot, but then if you compare it to other teams as well, you would see that other teams have conceded a lot more goals.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Van Roy, but Atletico Madrid this season are really cooking. Simeone has unlocked the mentality monster mode that has seen them go to Europa League finals, UEFA Champions League finals, even becoming the La Liga winners, and they are still in the race for the league title, mind you.
Yeah, 100%. And if you look at it now, they've taken 21 points from a possible 24, which is not bad. It's very, very good considering that there's other teams out there in La Liga that is doing very, very, very good.
Van Roy, I'm talking to you about verticality. I'm talking to you about aggression. I'm talking to you about organization. Atletico Madrid's identity is back, bro. And I don't think if anyone is going to maybe play against them, will be happy or glad to face them.
Yeah, no, it's 100% true. Like you said, they play with aggression. I think they playing, with the coach's spirit there lingering there in the background, like him wearing a
Yeah,
black
but the
suit.
coach was a cow, man, when he was a player. But
Yeah,
okay.
he was. And if you look
Mm.
at it, there's so many coaches out there that was bad players and they are good coaches, and vice versa as well.
Guardiola was a cow when he was a player. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Even Klopp, bruh. Klopp was, yeah,
Ah, top. You might as well just say Vela League, guy. You might as
yeah,
well just
Neil.
say that.
We move
I
on.
might as well just say that.
Yeah, Nia. So we move on. We had Sevilla as well. They faced Real Betis. Sevilla lost at home. Betis scored two goals and they didn't manage to respond. But Betis really they had a 58% possession. They 6 shots on target, which is amazing. They got 2 goals from that. It shows that they were clinical. And yeah, I don't know. Sevilla didn't do anything about it.
Yeah, no, it was crazy, bro. Because that red card it basically just ended Sevilla. I think they're in crisis, bro. I think so far this season, the only highlight maybe they can take from this campaign in particular is that sumptuous win against Barcelona. But anything before after that, I think is just been a thumbs down.
Yeah. Yeah, that's 100% true. It looks like they looking towards they look like a proper European team. Betis, I'm speaking about Betis. They look like a proper
Yeah.
European team. Sevilla in that game, they looked finished. Yeah, and you are right. Like the red card, it really put him in a crisis. It was like after that, like everything just went wrong. Instead of, put your thinking
The
caps
end is
on.
near.
Basically, yeah.
The end is
Yeah,
near.
Nia.
Yeah, they felt it. You could see it on the pitch.
Yeah. So we had your team as well. I see you have your t-shirt on. Eish. They faced Girona. So Girona was at home versus Real Madrid. And yeah, I was really hoping that Madrid could come off with a win, but that match ended in a one all draw. The form, Madrid, three draws in a row. What do you think about three draws in a row before I continue?
Van Roy, you know how I feel about this, bruh. And
It's
and
not
and if you want me to be even more honest, now, I feel like Real Madrid should have actually lost this game as well, because first we were humbled by Elche last week, né? And
yeah,
then we face up to this Girona side who are actually trying to get out of the relegation zone in terms of their position on the log. Like I really don't understand what's happening to this team. Xabi Alonso took off Trent Arnold Alexander, ne?
yeah,
And he put on Gonzalo Garcia,
yeah.
a big target man number 9. Who's gonna give him the crosses, bro?
Nobody.
He took
Nobody.
like I don't understand his tactic, and even the inclusion of Arda Guler, because I think the positive from this game was that Rudiger is back, he is fit.
Yeah,
Chouameni, he played. Kamavinga, he started on the bench. I don't know why. Basically the players that can actually make up the first team, they are fit now. I think that's the
yeah,
most positive thing that I can maybe take from this past game. And Arda Guler, they played him on the right wing, and that boy looked completely lost, because I don't know if maybe if they put him on the wing, then he's further away from Kylian Mbappe. But
yeah.
honestly speaking, I really don't see the purpose of having Arda Güler in the first 11, because the only person he only passes to is Kylian Mbappe. Let's just
That's
be
it.
honest. He doesn't control the tempo. He doesn't link up well with his teammates. He doesn't
Sure.
create spaces or play for the other guys. He looks good on the board. He has a
Yeah,
great first touch, but the coach has this over reliance on this kid, and I'm not saying that maybe he cannot swim in the deep end, but I'm
sure.
saying that there's no connection, you see.
Yeah.
And him being on the pitch with the rest of these guys, it just adds to this great disconnect that we're seeing.
Yeah, no, that's true. But then also what I've seen is that when he does pass the ball to Mbappe, Mbappe always scores, and that proved that in this game, okay, Mbappe scored again, and he got the ball from who? From exactly. So
No, 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 no,
who
no,
did he get a ball from? Wait, I didn't
Fandro,
actually
you
watch
didn't watch
the
the
game.
game. Fandro, you didn't watch the game. Kylian Mbappe got a goal by virtue of Vinicius Junior
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry
dribbling
for that
and
thing.
winning a penalty, bro.
Sorry
So,
for
so
that,
you see,
man.
that's my thing. In the games against the, let's say, ordinary or smaller teams, you will see Kylian Mbappe shining, ne? You will see
Sure.
Arda Güler paying all these magical passes to him. But when we play against teams that are either of a higher stature or that are
Yeah,
organized well, then you don't see Kylian Mbappe. You don't see him linking up with his teammates. You don't see Arda Güler waving like a magic wand. Like, you don't see all of these things. Instead, what
yeah,
you will see the people who've actually been winning us trophies all this time, Vinicius Junior and the like. You'll see the same guys pulling something out of out of the ass. Fucking rabbit out of magic hat. You know, and then something will magically happen, you see. So
yeah.
without getting passionate about this, bro, I'll say this again, and because I've said this so many other occasions, I don't feel like Xabi Alonso is the right man for the job.
Man, and you've
This
been
Real Madrid side are very predictable, and Xabi Alonso needs a tactical evolution, because even the substitutions that he's making, they don't make sense, bro.
Yeah, 100%. And then just to add on that, ne,
Hmm?
Madrid created they had a goal XG of 0.98. That is low for them. How would you based on that, ne, do you think you expect more from the front three, and who should contribute? Who is not stepping up to the plate besides Mbappe?
You know what? Nah, again, I don't really I don't feel like it's more about who is not stepping up to the plate. I feel like it's more like of a philosophical issue. You see, I
Okay.
don't think the message that the coach is trying to convey to the players, the instructions that he's trying to convey or to give to the players, I don't think they understand it well enough to produce it on the pitch. You see, and
Okay.
now it's one thing for the players to maybe not understand where the coach is coming from. But then it's another thing to also look at the tactics of the coach and try and decipher what the hell is he trying to do. He takes off he takes off Arda Gule on the right wing. He puts Eduardo Camavinga there, right? Now
Yeah.
that tactic it worked against Barcelona in the Clásico, right? But
Yeah.
if we're honest, like we managed to beat that Barcelona side because the boys, were motivated to show and prove that those disrespectful guys from the Catalan club,
Yeah.
we were gonna show them. You see, like they really took it upon themselves to actually want. It wasn't a tactical masterclass, for lack of a better word. You see, so
Yeah.
I really cannot single out one player when there's so many players who, for me, are not playing at
That
their best
level.
level. You,
Yeah.
you you see what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and here let's move on to Serie A.
Yeah. Mamma mia, Serie A.
The spaghetti people.
Ah,
Yeah, so
Lani. Lani.
so in the Serie A, we had Como that faced Sassuolo. Como actually beat them 2-0. The form of Como, they're unbeaten in 12 straight matches. While Cesc Fabregas is cooking in Italy, yeah, they scored 17 goals in their last 8 matches. That is quite a lot. What do you think about it, Thibaut?
Biggest line is Cesc Fabregas is cooking there in Italy, bro. He's, you know what, ne? Real G's, they know that they don't pronounce the G. The G is silent. Cesc
Yeah,
Fabregas is cooking up the best lasagna. The best lasagna, Lani.
yeah,
and
near,
and
yeah,
and he's
near.
doing it, with small kids, bro. Like if you look at the chemical makeup of his team, it's made up of course experienced players, but and very young players. These very young players, they come from very big clubs, Barcelona, Real Madrid, you know what, and at their parent clubs, they are seen as youth team players because they were promoted into the first team when they were 16-year-olds, when they were 17-year-olds. Cesc Fabregas has given these guys so much responsibility, and they
Yeah,
have
near.
excelled.
Yeah, that's true. That's very, very true. I would say he plays them very, very smart in strategic ways. He gets the best out of them. But
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
we move on. AC Milan faced Lazio. AC Milan actually won that game because they played at home. They formed in that match. They actually top of the table. They're unbeaten in their league. The 28 points. They have 28 points. Sorry, after 13 matches. That is fairly good. What can you tell me about Modric in that squad of Milan?
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Luka Modric has gone through a renaissance, and he's having the time of his life there in Italy. He's had countless Man of the Match awards, and this Milan side, they're starting to look like a Luka Modric side. Very resilient. They have a lot of class, and they're finding ways to actually win the game. I don't know if it's early to say, but this Milan side, they're starting to look like they can be champions.
Yeah, no, that's 100% true. And while Luka Modric is basically shaping their team into his own, Liao has now contributed to the 11 goals that he have this season.
Oh yeah, no, definitely, and also SS Lazio. I mean, they were toothless, for lack of a better word,
Yeah,
but they tried their best to contain this Milan side. This Milan's press suffocated them, and with a coach like Massimiliano Allegri, he believes that one goal is enough to win a game. You see, so I think this Milan side, they did everything that they could to get the 3 points on to the next
yeah,
one.
yeah, it's a professional score.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, and yeah, then we also had Juve that faced Cagliari. It's Cagliari, ne? Before you correct me again,
I'm not gonna
Cagliari.
correct you,
I
Lani.
know it. This is your
It's
favorite.
whatever you say it is.
It is, ne? This is your
It's
favorite
whatever
place,
you
so
say it is.
you have to speak like this.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. So Juve actually won that game. They beat them 2-0. Then there's this young boy that is very very good, rising superstar Keenan Yildiz. He
I
scored.
cannot yield these.
Yes, he scored 6 goals this season. Spalletti is still unbeaten. What do you think about it, champion?
Yeah, no, listen, this Juve side, they're whispering, but they're doing their work quietly and they're climbing. Luciano Spalletti, since he's been at the helm, he's doing what he needs to get done. They look more vertical, they look more aggressive, they look more modern. But of course, the most important thing is to get the results, and at least this is what they're doing.
Yeah, and they're doing it very, very quietly. Like while attention is everywhere else, they are just, you know what? One game after the other. Let's focus on to the next one, which is very, very good. I think they're doing very, very good. We move on. We have Inter versus Pisa. Inter had 2 goals. Pisa didn't score any. Inter are always contenders. That's what I can say. They always contenders. They always want to show that, you know what, they're big teams. They in Serie A, but I'm also here. And Lataro, that guy, he now has 6 goals in the league.
I don't know about you, Nefandre, but like these numbers that there's this German striker for Newcastle that you mentioned earlier on,
Yeah,
Voltemade. He has
Motamada.
like 5 goals in 10 games. Lautaro Martinez has 6 goals, and it's in December. I don't know. I feel like these numbers are low. I don't know if it's
Yeah,
because Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, or Robert Lewandowski, if these guys have maybe been spoiling us all these years. But when you see numbers like this and it's December, like you ask yourself, and like, what's going on? Are these people, do they even have an appetite? Or what? Hey, I don't know. But
yeah.
Inter Milan, they controlled the proceedings. It was total dominance from them. They were very stingy with the possession of the ball, and the opportunities they got to put the ball behind the net, they took them without fail.
Yeah, and that is true. I think, but just based on what you said, you are correct. It's December. We used to seeing a lot more goals. I think Cristiano
Oh,
Ronaldo and Messi, they spoiled us because it was a
oh,
big
bruh.
challenge to say that, you know what, who's going to gun for that trophy? Huh? That is the big one.
None.
Who is gonna go for it? So yeah, I think that flair and spirit is like people are just playing football, man. I think that is the case for me.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Van Roy.
Yeah, so we move on. Atalanta was at home versus Fiorentina. Atalanta actually won that game. They managed to get 2 goals. Fiorentina didn't manage to get any. So it was a bit disappointing. Um, I think Fiorentina are rooted at the bottom. I think there's a crisis there. I think they need to go back to the drawing board. While Atalanta have now won 2 in a row after their UCL victory.
Yeah, Palladino's system is flowing. Fiorentina, on the other hand, I think they are into the abyss now. They are totally lost. Stefano Pioli, he's lost the plot, and I think for Palladino, on Palladino's sake, this was an opportunity for him to get his revenge because Fiorentina let him go last season, even though he took them to the final of No, it wasn't Conference League, even though he took them to the semi-final of the
Yeah,
UEFA Conference League, but obviously they got knocked out by subsequent winners, Chelsea. So I think this was also was an opportunity for him to get his revenge, to show the owners that they made a mistake by letting him go, because ever since his successor took over, there's been nothing positive that's happening with the Viola. They're sitting rock bottom on the log, Lani. Rock bottom.
yeah. I think wherever he is, he's sitting there just laughing and say, "Yeah, look at these people. They
It's
thought that they
like
were
the
fine." Yeah,
it's like the 80-20 rule, Van Roy. You
sure.
know, when you have 80 and then you wanna substitute that for a 20. So your Medi is the 80, your wife is the 80, but then you
Yeah,
wanna substitute that with your side chick who's the 20. But then you only realize after that the side chick, doesn't bring what your wife used to bring to the table. But that's
yeah.
neither here or there.
Yeah, yeah. Hey. So yeah, moving on. We had Roma face Napoli. Roma was at home. They actually lost that match. Napoli had one goal, they had zero. Napoli, they still go joint on the top spot. Neres was the match winner. Roma lack cutting edge. I mean, like if you're gonna play at home, give the people a show, give them that end to
Yeah,
end kind of match, and show the
yeah.
hunger. Show the hunger. Even though Napoli has been virtually like almost indestructible, ne? Show them that look, I'm also here. You might be red top dog, ne, but I'm also here, and I can show you. I can roll with the punches, and that's it.
Yeah, but some things are easier said than done, because Napoli's transition play, oh my God, Mamma
Yeah.
Mia, it destroyed Roma. And on Roma's part, this is two games in a row that they've lost in terms of what's happening in the domestic front in the Serie A. So kudos, of course, to Napoli, because they go joint top with AC Milan after this win. And I liked what David Neres said in the post game interview. The journalist alluded, if I'm gonna try my best to quote word for word, but I just might butcher this. The journalist said to him that, hey, we're glad to have you back, because you're scoring goals in the Champions League and you're scoring match winners in the Serie A. And his reply was that I never left.
Yeah, yeah. It's like that, my friend. We're gonna move on to just round up PSL.
I'm telling you, it's time for the
So yeah,
Casistas, Mus.
yeah. So we had Richards Bay. They were at home. They faced Amazulu. Richards Bay scored two goals. Amazulu had no reply. So that match ended in a 2-0 win for Richards Bay. The form, Richards Bay climbs to the ninth position. Okay, that is quite good for a team of, I'm not gonna say of that stature. They belong there in the ninth place, but it's not a bad result. They're in the top half of the table, and a lot can still happen. I mean, it's before Christmas, but yeah, we'll see. We also had Pirates that faced Durban City. The happy people were very, very happy because they won that game. They had a 2-0 victory. Pirates coming into that game, 10 wins in 13. They are top of the table. They look like champions. They perform like champions. And yeah, like I said, the happy people are back. The happy people are indeed happy.
Yeah, I don't know, Fandro, without being disrespectful to anyone, a naive
Especially,
person will say that this is title winning form, right?
yeah,
But if you've been an Orlando Pirates fan like I have, then you will want to take this game by game. You see,
sure.
I think it's great that my Orlando Pirates have gone top of the table. I think now they need to maintain this form. I think they need to do everything to ensure that they stay at the top. Because the opposition like Mamelodi Sundowns are still participating in the CAF competitions,
Sure.
that means they will be more tired. They'll be more fatigued. and there will be opportunities for them to drop more points. So this Orlando Pirates side needs to make sure that they keep their finger on the pulse.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that one. Because Sundowns is playing KEF. They also have a lot of games in hand. You get me? Um,
Yeah.
I don't know how much exactly, but I know that they have games in hand. And when they come back, you're 100% correct in saying that they will be tired. But they will also say that, you know what, that first position, that top spot is actually ours. Thank you for holding it. Thank you for keeping the seat warm. I think they're also gonna come back and try and prove a point. So CAF competitions, we had MC Alger that faced Mamelodi Sundowns. Alger was at home. That match ended in a draw. However, Sundowns, they remain disciplined. They remain professional. They are still unbeaten.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, man, Denis Onyango was outstanding. Yeah, he made sure that there was nothing going in that net, and I think kudos needs to go to him. He's definitely, I think, the player of the match in this clash for the Brazilians.
Yeah, no, 100% true. And then we also had Chiefs versus Zamalek, ne? Can you please tell us how that went?
Yeah, no, Kaiser Chiefs, they rescued themselves. I think the game was slipping away from them, but at least they managed to draw level and secure a point at least.
Yeah, they actually, I don't know if they conceded first, did they? I didn't actually watch
Yeah,
that
yeah,
game.
yeah. Zamalek were on the front foot. Zamalek were on the front foot, and the Amagosi faithful, they did the right thing, but they couldn't do enough or bring their level high enough to actually get a win at home.
Yeah, Ned, do you think there's still hope for the second leg, or do you think that when they go that side, it's going to be total chaos and they're going to lose the whole plot? What do you think?
Yeah, the patriot in me will say that I have all the faith in every South African team that's participating in CAF competitions. You see, but if we look at historically the team that we are dealing with, Zamalek, they have a lot of experience at playing at this level in this
Yeah.
competition. So I think it's there for Kaiser Chiefs to do. There's no such thing as therefore. They will make opportunities and they will try to take the opportunities
Yeah.
to get through to the next round.
Yeah, Nia. And then we also saw Stellies, ne? Stellies also played. Can you please take us through that one?
Stellenbosch biggest line are maturing. This
Sure.
is like a good European style performance because they're doing any and every single thing to ensure that they can get into the next round. I think kudos needs to go to Stellenbosch because on the domestic front they're really suffering because of their CAF commitments. But I think overall in the end it will all bear fruit and we will see them going to the knockout stages.
Yeah, I just want to ask you a question based on that. Do you think that they're focused too more on CAF and they're not focusing on the league?
The problem is the schedule. Having to travel when you're participating in these CAF games is crazy. You see, so
Yeah.
whether we like it or not, I think those games they take a higher precedence than what happens domestically. Of course, you want to give your best performance when, let's say, you need to travel to Egypt to go play, and you want to come back here at home and ensure that maybe you're in the top three or on the log, but it's very difficult, Van Roy, you see. And we've
Yeah.
seen this time and time and again across different South African teams who participate in the CAF Champions League or the CAF Confederations Cup.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that one. I think if you play on a much bigger scale, on a much bigger stage, you actually want to prove to say that you know what, it's not only Pirates, Sundowns, and Chiefs that is out there. We are also
Exactly.
there. Yeah, but I
Exactly.
think it should be balanced in a way. I know that yeah, there's going to be a lot of fatigue because you can't play the same football that you play over there, and you come here to Mzansi and you put up a stellar performance as well. But yeah, I believe this is just my opinion. I believe that it should be balanced as well.
You know what I wish they would do, ne, Van Roy?
Yeah,
Because our continent is so enormous, right?
Yeah,
They should split it up, like you see what's happening in the MLS, where you see the Western Conference, where Lionel Messi's team gets a fake award, and then the team that actually deserves the award, they come after to lift up the same award. Like they need to just maybe subdivide, the regions. There must be either the southern section, of the
yeah,
African continent, like SADC, then maybe
yeah,
the central part of Africa, then maybe the east and the west. And then I don't know, maybe they can sum it up. Maybe they can take four teams from the east, four from the west, four
yes,
from central, four from the south, right? And
yeah,
then maybe towards the end of the season they meet, maybe like at a set country that will host, the remainder of those games, and that could be like a last 16. You see,
yeah.
and then
Yeah,
they kill each other, and then we'll see who's the
who's the
champion
best?
from there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
because
very yeah,
Yeah, because like the traveling, like imagine you need to play a game in Egypt, right? But like the
yeah,
plane that you're taking, it's gonna stop at two or three different countries
yeah.
before you get to
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
like
no, I agree
oh,
with you. And you know what? That's a very, very good idea. I think you should put it forward. Maybe they'll look into
ah
it and adopt it. Yeah, Nia, but we move forward. This is the time for the prop and flop of the week. We'll do the prop first. We had AC Milan. They are top of the table. Coming in second place is Barcelona. They're back in their rhythm. And then third place, we had Pirates. They're on the top of the PSL. So if you're looking at those three teams and what they have accomplished, who would you give the prop of the week to?
um I would love to be biased and say I would give it to Orlando Pirates because I'm a
Okay.
Buccaneer, and then, but I think it's very refreshing to actually see this AC Milan side that is giving a second lease of life to Massimiliano Allegri, a new lease of life to Luka Modric, right? It's
Yeah.
nice to see them on top of the Serie A log, and I really hope that they can do any and every single thing in their power to maintain this position, because I think it would be a fairy tale to see Luka Modric leave Real Madrid, go to AC Milan, and win the Serie A. Following in the footsteps of the player that he idolized, Zvonimir Boban. I think that,
Yeah.
that would be immense. So my prop of the week is definitely going to AC Milan. How about you?
On my side, I would also would love to say, you know what, it's Pirates because Sundowns has been there in that position. I
So
would love
long.
to see, yeah, I would love to say Pirates, and I really think they have a good squad. Their minds are completely focused on, you know what, we're going for gold. But I also give it to AC Milan. Exactly what you said.
Hey.
I also give it to AC Milan.
Van Roy. Van Roy, how do you not select Barcelona? You know Lebza's gonna kill you, bruh. You know
Yeah,
Lebza's
he's
gonna
gonna.
kill you, bruh.
He's
You know
gonna, but
Lebza's gonna kill you, bruh.
he was gonna kill me, and you would give it to them because now they're back to winning ways. But if you look at it, ne, those three selections, ne, you cannot. I think, in my opinion, ne, AC Milan is first. Ne, if this had to
Yeah.
be a second, third, I give Pirates second, and then I give Barca third.
Definitely. I think you and I, we are on the same page without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, 100%. So we move on to the flop of the week. Number one, we had Moises Caicedo. He was dangerous in how he played. He was reckless. Second spot goes to Thomas Frank, becoming a weekly feature. Yeah, Tottenham. Ne? And then in third place, we have Fiorentina. They are rooted right at the bottom, and there's zero identity. I really don't know what's happening there. But would you give your flop of the week to?
Yeah, you know what? Fiorentina have been in last place for such a long time that saying anything about them now will be like overkill.
Yeah,
Thomas Frank, I think the writing is on the wall. We've known this, I think, for maybe the last 3 or 4 match days. So I'm definitely going with Moises Caicedo. Ne? I think Moises Caicedo. Lani, ne? He
Yeah.
has the potential to he has the potential to pick up where Carlos Enrique Casemiro left off, right?
Okay.
But obviously, Moises Caicedo needs to ensure that he's part of a team that wins, obviously, the domestic league and maybe challenges for the Champions League. You see, but
100%.
this tackle that he rendered on Miguel Merino, I think that was atrocious, my man. And
Yeah.
I won't be surprised if, let's say, maybe the committee want to exercise maybe a strong or stringent ban on him. You see, because
Yeah.
had this been Aaron Ramsey, you already know that his leg would have been broken in two or three different places.
Sure. And yeah, you're 100% correct. It was reckless. It was dangerous. I think he could have avoided that. He caused his team to play extra hard. And if you look at it late in the second half, people were digging deep. I mean, it was like people were running. Chelsea was running. They were everywhere, covering ground, running into spaces, on and
Mm.
off the ball. They had to like exert more pressure. They had to, they had to fight for that one all draw. So I also give it to Casado. It was reckless. He could have avoided it, and yeah, what can I say? But it's football.
Can I say one last thing about that, Van Rooyen?
Yeah,
Um, there was a level of artistry in the manner in which he did that. Like, me, I like players who have a mean streak, and
yeah,
that mean streak that he showed, you only get from players like Pepe, Sergio Ramos,
uh,
Gennaro Gattuso, Yapstam, those
yeah,
kind of players. And
yeah,
even though it was a horrendous tackle, uh, I enjoyed seeing that because there was some artistry in it. The manner in
yeah,
which he pulled it off, he made it look like it was a mistake. And then
yeah,
after the fact, then he starts rolling on the ground, you know,
yeah,
screaming and writhing in pain. But then had
yeah,
it not been for VAR, we actually would not have seen that he was actually the perpetrator. So you know what, ne?
yeah, yeah,
I like that he's mastering the dark arts, and you need that in a defensive player. Me, I don't like Van Roy. I don't like
yeah.
defenders like Thiago Silva, big boss.
Plays it
You
safe.
know those, yeah, those clean,
Yeah,
now, man. Like you can have skills on the ball. You can have passing ability, but you're still a defender. And the attackers, they need to know that, hey, this guy he's not lekker up here,
exactly.
Lani. I'm
Yeah, and you
telling you.
can't take him light in any way. Whether it is you thinking you're just gonna dribble past him or in the air or this or that,
Exactly.
he needs to have your number at all times. I just want to ask you one last
Exactly.
question, based on that game, the Arsenal and Chelsea game. Um, did you see how many yellow cards were in that game?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. That was a full-on game, Lani. Those guys, they left everything on the table, bro.
Yeah, Nia, that was really a test for the ages. It was a battle. I mean, like first off, already there was like what 4 to 6 yellow cards and a red card, and I was sitting there like, yo, I wonder what's gonna happen the second half.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if Gabriel was there, the Arsenal defender, if he was there?
Yeah,
Can you
yo,
imagine then how
it would have-
dirty, how dirtier? I don't know if that's a word. How
yeah,
dirtier, the game could have been. So hey, listen, yeah, I agree with you. You know what? It was jam packed. It was definitely the match of the weekend.
yeah, no, it was. Guys, thank you for tuning in for another episode of Let's Argue. We're gonna close it off. This is your boy, it's Roy, featuring Tibo Lava Ultra, the one and only.
That's my line, bro.
I stole it. I stole
Hey,
it.
hey. Yeah, you stole it right there, right in front of my face, Lani. Hey, hey, hey. Guys, thank you for joining us for another installment of Let's Argue. Let's see each other again on Friday. Please
Sure.
don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and also send us your messages and give us your opinions on what you think on the takes that we just touched on. And we can't wait to see you again on the next show. Yeah, sure.
Mammi. Sharp, sharp. Good night, Mzansi.